Okie dokie, everybody. Welcome back. You're here at the Fox Den with Peter Voss, the Papa Fox, and we're going to continue playing Pillars of Eternity by Obsidian Entertainment. When we last left off, we had explored a Copper Lane thoroughly. We had missed an episode. Oh, and I forgot to mention, our hired hero protagonist, completed his little adventure, so we have some special stuff waiting for us back at Caed Nua. But we essentially finished, not finished completely, but gone through the initial round in Copper Lane, and now we're going to go through Brackenbury. After we finish up in Brackenbury, then we're going to go to Andra's Gift, and then we're going to go up to First Fires. We're going to save Heritage Hill for later, I believe. Just as a little bit of spoiler, that's going to be a interesting questing area that we'll have to go to. So, let's go ahead and be about it.
Sure.
What is this we got going on here? How are you guys doing? Well, I'm doing absolutely... Well, I wish I was doing better than I could be. I've been feeling under the weather lately, and I wonder if we can actually poke around here. I've been feeling under the weather lately, so if I'm a little bit off my game today, that is exactly the reason why. Let's see if we can talk with any of these folk. No? Don't take kindly to uninvited guests. Lord Raidmont. Let's take a talk with him. Lord Raidmont holds up a shipping manifest in his well-manicured hands. Despite his expensive clothes, he has the sallow complexion and restless air of a man who devotes all of his days and most of his nights to his work. If you have business to discuss, make an appointment with my attendant. I don't have time for unexpected visitors. Tell me about yourself. He snaps the pages in his hand. I am lord of this house and not prone to idle chatter. If you have business here, I suggest you be off. He doesn't look up from his papers. Let's take a look back at that letter real quick. Thieves letter. Window ajar. Let's go ahead and give him the letter. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? He lowers his papers and looks at you for the first time. Is that so? Let me see that. He scans the parchment with the speed of an expert clerk. When he returns his attention to you, his tone is brisk and businesslike. You've done this house and this city a great service. I'm certain you will consider this an adequate reward for your labor. The letter was signed AD. Does that mean anything to you? I suspect it means Abracandominel, the scion of House Dominel. A look of disgust crosses his face. A pampered and pandered lad, if ever there was one. He's ruthless, I'll give him that much. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the wits to match his appetites. Tell me about House Dominel. They were once an eminent and admired house. Now they're just a den of thieves. Back in the Deerwood's colonial days, the Dominels were respected members of the ducal court, which is why it was so surprising that they remained loyal to Aedir during Hadret's rebellion. When Hadret and the Deerwood won independence, the Dominels lost their favor, but not their wealth. Rather than return to Aedir, like the other loyalist houses, they dug their heels in here and turned from politics to commerce. He shrugs. In one way of looking at it, they simply partnered with the wrong side. Not that they haven't prospered since in their own way. Rubs his jaw. Lately, they've been seeking to carve out a new niche for themselves. One right between the Crucible Knights and the Dozens, it seems. What will you do now? Lord Raymond pinches the crisp, sharp creases into the note. Eliminate the competition. What's so important about this gem? The heart of Whitemarch is a nearly flawless diamond. It's also the patrimony of the dwarves of Whitemarch. It was seized by an Aedirian lord in the early days of colonialization, and the dwarves haven't forgotten it. Now the knights and the dozens are both bidding for it. Now the knights and the dozens are both bidding for it to make a peace offering to the dwarves. He shrugs. Whichever party buys it, the dwarves will make useful allies for Defiance Bay, especially in these days. There we go. Farewell. 2-story job, and looks like we got level ups all the way around, so that's wonderful. But first, let us take a look at that handy-dandy new ring we got. Okay, grants suppress affliction. Let's take a look. Hostile effects suspended over 5 seconds. That's rather useful. And look, Aloth is missing a ring. Okay, let's go ahead and level up our characters. Okay, survival mechanics, lore. Let's see, 6 gains bonus damage versus flanked enemies. Let's go ahead and do that. And now we can get more monk abilities. Stunning blow seems pretty awesome. Clarity of agony, 2 per rest, minus 50 duration for hostile effects for 10 seconds. Passive, ooh. Gains plus 10 fortitude whenever a hostile effect expires. Plus 10 reflex, plus 10 will. That's pretty useful. Force of anguish. Powerful attack that knocks the target back a significant distance if the attack is successful. Target bumps others out of the way and bounces off hard surfaces like walls before ending up prone. That's also pretty awesome. Duality of mortal presence. It's modal. The monk gains 2 modal abilities that allow him or her to switch between the bonus to deflection and a bonus to all other defenses. That's also really useful. Soul Mirror passive, deflect 50% chance to deflect range attacks. That's also really good. Rooting Pain passive. Generates a shockwave around the monk each time he or she gains a wound, inflicting a small amount of damage and possibly calling an interrupt on all enemies in the area of effect. Ooh. The Long Pain. Monk becomes capable of projecting force from his or her fists and inflicting damage at long range. Summon weapon, Long Pain Fists. Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. This is going to be interesting. We can get the Duality of Presence, which is pretty useful, or we can... Stunning Blow seems pretty good, too. Soul Mirror, reflect ranged attacks. If we get ranged attacks and then Duality of Presence, let's get Duality of Mortal Presence, and then we can get stuff like that. And then when we get Soul Mirror, we can actually deflect ranged attacks. So let's go ahead with Duality of Mortal Presence, because we also do take an awful lot of damage. Okay, done. Now let's go ahead and upgrade Aloth. Alrighty. Survival, I think, is what we will want to do. 3 bonus movement. Let's go ahead with that. Okay, now we get a 4th level spell. 2 4th level spells, actually. Tentacles that cannot move but can inflict crush and corrode damage to anyone they hit. Oh, that's pretty useful. Pull of Aura. Let's see what that is. A black sphere. Okay, cool. Wall of Flame. A vertical sheet of flame. That's also pretty neat. Minor Grimoire Imprint. Steals 3 spells of level 3 or lower for 20. Concussive Missiles. Fires 5 missiles of pure force. That's also pretty neat. And crushing damage to foes close to the impact. That's also pretty cool. Iron Skin. Transmutes the caster's skin, not to anybody else's. Flame Shield. Engulfs the caster. Essential Phantom. Double of the caster. Dimensional Shift. 1 ally. No confusion. Let's take a look at what Confuse does. Makes every character behave erratically for 6 seconds, randomly attack an ally, walk in a random direction, or do nothing. We are actually going to get Concussive Missiles and let's see, there's that. Grimoire Imprint. Arcane Reflection, no. we're going to do the Pull of Aura. We want to control the battlefield at times, so why don't we go ahead with that? I've never used that spell before, so it might be useful. Okie dokie. Now we're going to go on to Ader. Already has 6 in... Already has 6 in survival, so let's go ahead and give him more athletics. There we go. And lore. Yeah, we were gonna go big into lore for these guys, so they can use magic scrolls. Okay. Fighter abilities: Armored Grace, minus 20% armor speed penalty. That's useful. Adventurer, no. No. Noble, no. Peasant, no. Ruffian, no. Okay, Unbending. 3 per rest. User effect, 50% of damage taken converted to healing. Ooh, that's pretty awesome. Confident aim. 20% of grazes converted to hits. 20%, plus 20% minimum damage. Ooh. Disciplined Barrage. No. Guardian Stance. Plus 10 deflection. Minus 10 accuracy. Clear Out. 2 per rest. And a large arc. Knocking enemies prone and causing crush damage. Ooh. Into the Fray. That's a leap. Which might be useful. Overbearing Guard. The fighter's disengagement attacks have increased. Oh, knock enemies prone. Fearless. Immunity to frightened and terrified. We are actually going to go for confident aim. I want the minimum damage for Ader upped. Okay, level 7 fighter. Ta-da! Now we're going to Durance. Let's give him some more survival. Oh, level ups. Okay, we got Barring Death's Door. Prevents a severely wounded character from health from reaching 0, when it would result in the death of a character. Okay, awesome. Devotions for the Faithful. Invokes the benediction of the priest god, imbuing allies in the area of effect with accuracy and might bonuses, while enemies receive a penalty. Prayer against bewilderment. Okay, cool. Restore major endurance to all allies in the area of effect. Searing Seal. It's a flame thingy. Shining Beacon. Conjures a luminous beacon of light, causing enemies in the area to take a penalty to all defenses and accrue burn damage. Triumph of the Crusaders. Imparts to allies the fervor of righteousness in battle. When the ally in the area of effect delivers a killing blow, regains endurance. Ooh, that's also really good. And Lenity against minor afflictions. Grants a single ally immunity to basically all of those things, which is kind of neat. Awesome. Now let's go with Kana. Okay, Kana already has up with the lore, so we're going to do that. And let's go ahead with athletics. We want to get that second wind in there. Okay. We get some more phrases. 1 doesn't sit against the... decreases the duration of frightened and terrified. Footfalls of Wrath. Okay. Friendly Aura. Let's see. Leaves a hazardous. Allies leave... Nah. Reload speed, attack speed, which would be kind of useful because he's going to be on the back line. The Fox, Farmer to run leap. Okay. Minus 10 accuracy against disengaging enemies. That's also pretty cool. Foe aura, minus 10 concentration. There we go. Foe aura, minus 10. Let's see. Okay, so there's that. or there is reload speed. We're going to go with this because a lot of our weapons are a lot of our ranged weapons that we're going to be using are a little bit on the slow side, and the ones that are faster will be even that much faster. So we're going to go with that. Yes, that's the one that we want. Next. And last one would be Sagani. Okay. Survival is way up there, so we're going to give athletics and start giving her some lore. Alrighty. Next, okay. Ranger abilities. Swift aim. Modal. Plus 20 attack speed and reload. Minus accuracy. Defensive bond. Okay. Both defense against AoE attacks. That's great. Predator sense. Plus 50% damage against targets affected by damage over time. Divine flight. Range attacks bounce 1 time. We might do that. Take down, if successful, prone for a few seconds. Arrow sense. Vicious aim. That's modal minus on attack speed, but okay. And heal companion. I think we're gonna do divine flight. That looks pretty cool. There we go. Okay, so we have all of our party upgraded. Let's go ahead and explore the rest of Brackenbury. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, if I sound a little bit off, or if my commentary is not especially on par, as much as it is anyways, yeah, I haven't been feeling the most awesome ever, the Charred Barrel. But luckily, I have the most amazing family ever. They've helped me get on my feet and everything. I owe my wife so much, and my son actually, for even though he's only like 2, for putting up with me when I get like this. Heartless something. Let's talk with this person. Thirstwind, the young elf, is dressed in gaudy robes that he seems ready to cast off. He picks a heavily brocaded sleeve and continually adjusts the gold chain around his neck. He looks up at you. Did she send you to run me out of town? You can tell her I'm not going anywhere without that medallion. I told Cyril I wouldn't let her sell it. If that's what you're here about, then save yourself the trouble. He puffs up his chest, but glances at the exit. What are you talking about? He relaxes. If you have to ask, then you're obviously not here to shake me down. Cyril's a courtesan over at the Salty Mast, an Andra's gift. We've been working together for over a year now. I find a noble with more money than sense, fill him up with liquor, send him her way, they have a good time, and Cyril takes her fee and a little extra. He rubs his fingers together. 100 coppers here, a trinket there. It's a bounty for us, and these lords and ladies never notice anything's missing. Go on. Anyway, we always split the bounty until a week ago. He squeezes his lips into a tight frown. She takes a necklace off some noble. It's an Engwithan medallion. Damn near priceless. That relic is sacred to my clan, but she won't part with it for any sum I could afford, anyway. He tugs at the gold chain around his neck. And even if I wanted to, I can't go home without it. Sagani's brows furrow in pity. That's a hard thing. Tell me more about your situation. He picks at the hem of his sleeve. What do you want to know? What makes this medallion so important to you? I grew up in Glanfath with the Shattering Spear clan. We Glanfathans have protected Engwithan ruins for thousands of years. It's the one duty the gods ask of us in exchange for the freedom to live as we please. He fidgets with an emerald ring on his pinky. But the treasure hunters looted the ruins in our territory. We left the wilds we dwelled in for generations. Most of my clanmates scattered to the towns of the Deerwood, around the Deerwood, and probably live on crusts of bread. He looks at his embroidered robes with disgust. Restoring this medallion to the ruins would earn us the gods' forgiveness. The Shattering Spear could go home. That's all rather fascinating. A single medallion to earn the gods' favor and so return home? It reminds me of a story I heard somewhere. Tell me about Cyril. She's a courtesan at the Salty Mast. She wasn't born to much, but she's done what she has to in order to escape that. He gazes at the string of amber beads around his wrist. She's a good friend. He folds his arms in trailing, wrinkled sleeves. Without her, I'd probably be living hand-to-mouth like the rest of the Shattering Spear. But this isn't about her or me. It's about the 40 people in my clan and the way of life we've held to for generations. I still don't understand why you can't take your money and return to Erglanfath. He sighs, arching his neatly plucked eyebrows. Of course I could, but that's not the point. A community isn't a place. It's a connection to the history and meaning. He makes circles with his wrists, like an anchor. Defending the ruins for the gods gave us a purpose. Without that, we're adrift. Does that make any sense to you? It actually does make a lot of sense to me. I understand this quite a bit. Places... if you haven't already, dear watcher, I would suggest, if you can, to look into the study of cultural geography. You'll understand the difference between a place and a location, and what that can actually mean to people and everything. So this makes a lot of sense to me. Yes. He smiles and nods slowly. And you know what it's like, how to care for something you can't explain. That's all I wanted to ask. Well, I'll see about getting the medallion from Cyril. You'll find her at the Salty Mast. The only way anyone sees her these days is by paying, so you'll have to go through Maya. He fidgets with his sleeve. But whatever you do, please don't hurt her. Give me 1 second. I want to check to see how much time I have left. And we're actually going to call that an end of the episode. If you've enjoyed, go ahead and hit that like button, or give me some feedback if you prefer. Of course, if you enjoy my other videos, then a subscription to the channel would also be most appreciated. As always, it's great to see you all here at the Fox Den. I hope you'll come back next time and pull up a chair for some more Pillars of Eternity. Alrighty, you take care now. Bye.